my name's Honey Sweetkin. I have to leave for work an hour, and I have decided to make earrings and talk about my experience with femininity as a woman love boy.
So this is Editing Me, and I wanted to tell you that if you came for this video for a very well planned out, this isn't it. And that's okay. I feel like I still made some interesting points to ponder over. But this isn't some, like, ContraPoint video. This is little old me making earrings and having a brain dump. So, I warned you. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.
So, first I'll introduce you what I'm making. So here's my glue gun. Love her to pieces. Just received her last night. Here is my box with some of my earrings. Shoot. We are going to be making, I've had this for a while, but I just haven't had a glue gun. So, see there's kind of little bottles, and very excited about it. I think they'll be super cute. Make sure I get all this stuff in there. I don't really know what bottle we're going to be making, but we'll see. Here's my overall earring making kit. I have some, like, important at the moment, but let's start. So, I'm a woman love woman. I can't really tell you on what spectrum I identify with that, but I do identify on the spectrum as a woman who loves women. And so I like that term a lot because I feel like it's very all-encompassing. Besides the point. So, what am I complaining about? I'm not contributing my struggles with femininity specifically because of my woman liking women, being, you know, the homosexual breed.
What? I'm editing in a different outfit? Yes, I am. Okay, I just wanted to come here to tell you that in this video, I'm going to be talking a lot about men and women stereotypes. I'm not really talking about stereotypes for people who are non-binary or MB, or however on the spectrum. You are still valid. I'm not trying to exclude you. I apologize if you feel like I am. Just in this video specifically, I'm talking about people who are more like in the gender binary, I guess you could say. So like male and female. Thank you so much. You're amazing. I adore you. Sorry about this. Woo, we're going back, I promise.
However, I do think it contributed an interesting part of me developing. So let me explain why. So I am a Gen Zer. Ha ha ha. We're crazy little gooses who can't make our own doctor's appointments, but we'll... yeah, that's us. Or at least some of us. I grew up in the age of, like, when I was younger, it was like Good Luck Charlie, Wizards of Waverly Place, kind of. That was more like I was a Monster High doll. I loved Littlest Pet Shops. That's to give you kind of an era of my childhood. A lot of those shows in television, the women in there, usually there was always a boy. They're always talking about boys and boys and boys and boys and boys, which is totally fine and valid. But I've realized that a lot of things that are contributed as feminine things is gossiping about boys, makeup, the color pink, and especially as a child, I didn't really associate myself, don't do this, with a lot of these things, specifically talking about boys. And this concept, which I still find interesting, has been talked about multiple times, but that I'm not like other girls. So I found myself falling into that mindset because I was not obsessed with, not obsessed, that's kind of misogynistic, I apologize, but I was not really prioritizing, I didn't really care. I mean, I convinced myself I had crushes since preschool, but I don't know if you have a similar experience if you're a fellow woman. That's not really a crush. That's just wanting to be friends with a guy. And I feel like especially as girls, and specifically I would contribute my experience to Woman Loves Women, we're not really taught how to differentiate, I forgot the exact term, crushes with friends. I think I'm gonna go first for this little orange one. It's pretty cute. So I don't know if I'm gonna make them gold or silver yet. We'll decide that in a second. Which I found very confusing, because I remember in first grade, like, there was this dude, and I wanted to be his friend, but I thought I had the biggest crush on him, And I was like, he was the only dude I invited to my party. Because we're not really taught, we're taught, at least in my generation growing up, we were like, girls rule, boys drool. Which I think, well, I like the idea of it, that's trying to be like, go women. Because, you know, women are great. We love them here in this house. I feel like really made like a us versus them mindset, which I know is being a little dramatic, but stick with me. I don't know, and I feel like we're always just set up, especially with media, set up to be like, now it's changing a little bit more, but be like, oh, the girls like the guys, and the guys are like, so like, I'm a football player, or the nerd, or, you know, like, men have like all these specific different kind of like stereotypes that they can be in media, and girls are all either like, oh, I'm quirky and I listen to music or whatever, or they're the popular girl who's a meanie head and she's obsessed with her boyfriend, and just, you know. And I feel like, especially when I was growing up, we were kind of put into these two boxes rather with our male counterparts. They were the nerd, the jock, the geek. And I mean, of course that was there for girls too, but I feel like it was more like, I'm different, or I'm a bad person, you know? Specifically, like, this focus that girls had to be obsessed with guys, you know, and all go to their sleepover and all they should do is talk about guys. And I think that mindset really made me disassociate with my woman identity. It made me want to fit into the type of, like, I'm not like other girls. Actually, when I was growing up, there was, like, I had no concept of what a woman love woman was. Like, someone in my personal life, there are two ladies and they're together and they live in the same house, and I was convinced that one of them was a guy, because I just genuinely had no concept that two people of the same gender could be in love, which is so interesting to think about, because that is something that I heavily associate as part of my identity today. And I think recently it's getting better. I'm not saying that now we have as much of an issue, but I still think overall it's more of a taboo topic. And there are some shows, like an example like She-Ra or Steven Universe, which we love and support in this house, even though I have some issues with both of them separately. But I think they really, or even Legend of Korra, which I think was the starting point. Silver, gray. Which Legend of Korra is considered queer baiting. I feel like the show you can associate with maybe queer baiting, but in the comics they're literally gay for each other. I don't think it's necessarily queer baiting. I just think because of the network it was on, it wasn't able to get to that point, and because at the end of Last Airbender, I'm going off a tangent, I don't consider it queer baiting, but I can see why it's considered queer baiting. Besides the point. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go cold. Can you see this? I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm gonna go cold. Okay. So girls are taught to be obsessed with men, from a young age. We are taught to gossip about men, and you could say recently that has been changed by, while men do the same things, they talk about girls, whatever, but it's just different in the sense that we are characterized for it, and that's just something that they do. You see what I'm saying? I don't feel like it's on the same level that men are characterized to talk about women, especially in media when I was developing. And wow, I think the main reason for that is misogyny. I was taught to hate my gender since I was a child, and I would say hate is an extreme word, but I was taught that I had to act in a certain way to be a woman. I'm not really a gossip gal. Well, that's not true. I love gossiping. I like drama. I like being outside of it, which I feel like is a fair thing to say for most people. especially when I was a child, I was very, I like anime, you know, I like reading, you know, and that we're taught that we should like the color pink, and boys, and dresses, and only till recently I've really started identifying with those pieces of clothing. And I think when you alienate a whole group of girls, like, that's what leads to I'm not like other girls mindset of you like, I like sweatpants and I like pizza, you know. And I really think it makes us an us I really think it makes us versus them mentality when we're just a bunch of growing up kids who are trying to find themselves, you know. And I think it leads to misogyny, even internalized misogyny, even with young girls. Even if you say girls drool, boys drool, but you're teaching girls that you have to like the color pink. And we can have a whole different discussion over the stupidness of girls' toys and boys' toys and girls' it's so stupid. And when you associate interests and articles of clothing with a gender, that's just gonna lead to people hating their gender and feeling like they're alienated from a part of a group when they're kids trying to find their identity, which is just, I don't know. I think it's just so annoying. And I think, especially now, it leads to people stereotyping lesbians as dressing more masculinely, because I feel like a lot of us were kind of separated from our gender from a young age. I still like dressing more masculine sometimes, and sometimes I like to wear a skirt, you know? And I think the reason that I actually feel like I can wear skirts now is because I've learned that wearing a skirt doesn't mean, I don't even know. Like, I just considered myself so distant from, like, the stereotypical girl when I was younger, and I could say that's because of my womanhood or just how I was raised or how whatever, you know? And I feel like because of this societal expectation, like, it really led me to be very confused within myself, which I think is just sad, because I'm very proud to be a woman, because, you know, we are some of the strongest people out there, you know? We love that for us. And I don't know. I just hate gender roles, you know, whatever. Because I just feel like it just leads to people alienating themselves from their gender identity. And what comes that is a lot of religions or cultural ideas where men and women are supposed to behave in a certain way. And that's a whole other conversation. Because I'm not qualified to talk about that. I'm a white girl living in suburban with half of my family being Christian, I guess you could say. So I am not qualified for that conversation. So I'm going to stick to what I'm able to talk about. At least think I'm able to talk about. It's just, I don't know. And I don't really have a solution for it, you know? It's just kind of like us as gals have to learn that wearing a dress or liking lipstick doesn't make us a girl, you know? And it's just very hard when we have to learn that our identity isn't from, here's how I'll show you. Usually I use this to get the smaller ones. So, I don't know if you can see that. And this is just gonna sound like crazy rambling, and I apologize, but I just kind of wanted to go on here to share how some of my just like thoughts, just like off the top of my brain. Like, I didn't really plan for this video or have like something that I want to talk about. I just know that I've just recently just been thinking about a lot, and how being a gay woman has affected how oh, these are so cute. They want to make it a little bit longer though. Let's see. So I'll show you what I do up close. So you take this, I got this at Michael's, I think, and this is just like that thing. And what I do is I kind of push it to separate it like this, and then you just scoop it and then you redo it. It took some time to learn how to do this. Just practice. Don't get frustrated. If you're watching this to see how I make earrings, it took me a while. This is because I've been doing it since quarantine, really. In quarantine, you have a lot of free time. I'm curious to see if anyone else... Ooh, I like that length a lot. If anyone else, woman loves women's in the chats, or even like men loving men, or just my NB baby chat children, how like your sexual orientation or romantic orientation led to you to disassociate with your gender, because I don't know, I just think it's a very interesting conversation that, at least me personally, I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about. Because I feel like when you bring stuff like this up, like, people who aren't involved kind of blow it off, you know? So I think people just like to box themselves in. And I don't know, I just feel like that's really sad, because I feel like a lot of interesting conversations could be created from this topic. Let's see how this looks. Oh my gosh, I love it! It's so cute. What concerns me is that I hope that people growing up are no longer being subjected to this, because while I'm not gonna contribute this to like all of my self-confidence issues growing up, I think it did lead to a lot, and it wasn't even like me like thinking about this, it's just kind of how my brain, I wasn't even thinking about it, I was just kind of like naturally, like I was just disassociating myself from my gender because of this, and I wasn't like, I'm not a woman because I don't like dresses. Like, my brain, like, was naturally, from what I was being fed and fed and fed, was like, I'm not a typical girl. I'm a little quirky one who likes to watch anime and vibe. I don't know. You know, it's just, I'm not in the youth currently. Well, I'm still in the youth, but I'm not an adolescent / child. I'm a teenager. I'm still a minor. I can't really talk about how this has been affected. I do have a younger sister, and I guess I can see she's going in the same direction, because me and her were very similar when we were the same age. She watches anime, a lot of YouTube. I don't know. I guess I haven't really brought up the question, hey, do you feel like media's expectation of you caused you to disassociate with your gender? Like, she'd be like, what the f*** are you talking about? You know what I mean? And I just feel like it's not really someone notices until they kind of reflect. You see what I mean? There's so much low-key misogyny just constantly fed to women and men and everyone else in between. Like, in this like the YouTuber thing. Oh, these are so cute. I love them. I know the hot glue looks a little messy, but I think that's just part of the flavor. I'm gonna keep going because I can do whatever the heck I want. Because oh, which one should I do? Here's the ones I have. You're wondering where I got this? I think I got it from, I really don't remember. Probably like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. But no, like the stereotype, like I'm sure some of you at least have heard of this going around, but they're like, if women were in charge, there would be no wars, just like a lot of passive aggressive glares, whatever. You know what I'm talking about? If you've heard of it, then you know what I'm saying. Forgot how they exactly word it. People exactly word it. But, and it's just kind of like, what? Like, it's just internalized misogyny. And I know some people might be like, you're being sensitive, you snowflake. But like, how do I explain it to someone who's not gonna understand? It's just stereotyping women. You know, and it's making us seem like nosy and drama-filled and bleh, you know? And I hate that, truthfully. And it makes me really uncomfortable constantly. And it's just kind of like, yeah, women gossip. enemies gossip, men gossip, everyone gossip, but women, girls, are taught from a young age that this is what you do as a girl. You either gossip and like makeup and pretty dresses, or you're different. And maybe you're a tomboy and you like sports and you like being one of the guys, or you know, or maybe you're just different from everyone else and you just like watching Netflix and chilling and eating pizza. You know, we can't be unique. We have to fit into a box. And like, it's just concerning to me. Men from a taught age are told to be more strong and masculine and, you know, and don't care about feelings, and you need to find a woman, you know, like, and it's just on a men, not really, I would include non-binary people, but non-binary people really haven't been involved in the media ever, at least from my experience. Conflicting stereotypes of what we should be, they are meant to contradict each other. They are meant to cause women are blah and then men are grrr, and it's just always constantly, and it just makes it so harmful to us. And we're just spoon-fed this idea of identity since an age that when we haven't even like been able to choose what we want to wear yet, you know? And I just think that's wrong. I don't know. It just makes me sad because I'm gonna do these on the great ones. Because I feel like I would have been so much more confident with myself. So obviously, like, I'm gonna do silver. I'll show you how it looks. From a young age, if I was just taught that my gender is just literally entails nothing on my ability or my interests, it's just kind of who I am in a sense, you know? And we're taught that being this gender means this about ourselves, when that's not true for everyone. Yeah, of course there's some girls who like to gossip and like pink dresses, and they're completely valid. I like drama, I like makeup, I suck at it, but I enjoy watching Smokey Glow on YouTube, and seeing people do makeup, and I've recently become to really like dresses and skirts. Good for me, good for you, you know? But that is not because I'm a woman. That's because wearing dresses and flowy skirts and spinning, and it makes me feel pretty. And that's what clothing should teach you to do. That's what makeup should teach you how to do. But no, we're taught as a woman, you should like skirts because that's what women like. You see the disconnect? And stereotypes are gonna happen. At least where I feel like we're at as a collective. There's no way that I can stop stereotyping, which is sad, but that's just kind of, oh my god, this is so freaking stringy. There's just really nothing I can do to, oh no. Chaos ensues. So, what I was saying, there's no way I can stop stereotypes. There's no way at this point in time anyone can really stop stereotypes, especially of people's genders, which I think is sad. But what I think is important is that we are made aware of this is a stereotype. This is a stereotype. This does not include everyone. And I've even seen like some parents on TikTok grow their children up in a gender-neutral house, which I think is a grand old idea. I just don't think that we should gender clothing. Yeah, I'm gonna let someone sit for a second. I said it. Did she say it? Yeah, I did. Wow, big surprise alert. Ooh, I like this one better. Because when we gender literal clothing, here, this one looks a little less messy. Let me see. That's what leads to disconnect. And that's the whole point of me saying this. Also, I just like to talk a lot, if you can tell. And I've always wanted to talk about my experience and what I feel my experience was as a child. And I've always been curious to have these conversations with more than one people, because the only person who listens to me and I feel comfortable having this conversation with is my girlfriend, and she's probably sick of me. But no, I feel like we have a lot of really interesting conversations. But me and my girlfriend's view are very limited, and we're both, like, for example, we're both white, we're basically the same age, we live in the same area, and so our conversation can only reach so far, and that's kind of why I wanted to bring this to this platform, because maybe you disagree with me about gender roles and gender stereotyping, and maybe you think it helped you find your identity, or etc, etc, etc. And if that is you, I'm so incredibly happy for you. I'm so glad that you felt like it helped you, because that's incredible. And I'm not here to dismay or your experience. That's awesome. Good for you, hun. But for me, and people who have had my experience, I want to open a conversation. Or even for you. Welcome, join our conversation. Because I am only one little small brain. I only fit so much in my tiny head. And I feel like the more we have these conversations, the more we can lead to solutions where, oh no, the glue's gonna dry. Because I feel like this is a very much a gray area. Or I personally, well, I've heard some conversations about it. Like, people talk about gender stereotyping, and I'm not like other girls, but I feel like people, especially with their sexual orientation, I've had this conversation about how it affected their gender identity. I realize I've totally got off the whole topic of the original video. I just kind of talked about internalized misogyny in general, and if you're not for that, I'm sorry. I have ADHD. This will be my excuse for everything at this point. I'm gonna make another video talking about discovering which ADHD actually means, because that was an experience. So yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to comment. Well, actually, I'm not done yet because I haven't finished. Oh my gosh, my golds. I'll leave you some questions to answer. Do you feel that your sexual orientation inflicted the way, inflicted, I don't want to say interrupted, contributed to confusion about your gender identity? Does it even, like, disillusioned you to what your gender means? You know what I mean? And if you watch the video, then I hope you know what I mean, because hopefully I made a semblance of sense. Probably not, but possibly. Hi! Here's what it turns out. I think they turned out super cute. This is a different day. So sorry they look completely different, but I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you like my earrings. I do, hee. If you have anything to comment and say, feel free to comment below. If you guys have an amazing day, enjoy, and hope you know that you are valid as you are, and everything's gonna be okay. Have an amazing day. Thank you for watching.